We're not gonna have the prayer this
I'll just say that.
time. Okay. I want to call to order the first budget workshop for the Carrabelle Community Redevelopment Agency 2018-2019 budget. It's Tuesday, September 14, 2018 at 1:30. We're at the Carrabelle City Complex, and we will forego the invocation and pledge allegiance to the flag. We just did that at our special meeting a few moments ago, and it's not required for the workshop. So we'll move forward on to roll call. We have Mr. Rob Powers, Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Walden, Mayor LaPaz, Commissioner Mathis, Commissioner Allen, Mr. Dan Hartman, Courtney Dempsey, and Ms. Keisha Messer. And so we'll review the budget first, and then there's a few items. I'm sure we'll all have some things we want to discuss, and I've got 4 items that are of interest coming up. So you want to talk about it some, Ms. Keisha?
Okay, the first line is our revisions, the 2017 to 2018, because we made some changes there. Second line is our proposed budget. The county and city portion is based on ad valorem taxes, so that's where we get those 2 numbers. Grant reimbursements, the $75,000 is going to be what we've spent this year on the waterfront stock. It'll be reimbursed in the next fiscal year, so we'll have that as monies. The due from general fund is the payment that we've been making all along to try and get the number down that the general owes CRA. Our plan is to have that paid off by the sunset year, which is, I believe, 2022. So we're on a good track with that number there. That brings us to our total, and our balance forward is a rough estimate of what will be left over after expenditures in this current budget year. It'll be our carry forward number. Money that it didn't necessarily, we budgeted for it, but it didn't necessarily get spent this fiscal year, so we're gonna put it into next year. Everything else, as you can tell, it's went from 4 pages to 2.
2.5.
2.5. 2 on the one we have. Just, you have your basics.
2.5.
The only projects we have funded this year, we have the median website for the CRA, of course the CDBG Avenue B to do phase 2, finish that one out. And then that brings us to $9,650 in reserve. So we went from spending a couple $1 million to $500,000.
But that was the intention.
Right. We've got a lot of stuff done. So we need to balance the budget by the time we approve it. So we'd have to figure out somewhere for the $9,000 to go. But other than that, it's pretty cut and dry.
So your the landscape maintenance that you see there, the 40, that's a little bit high, but in the event that something happens that they have to, the 37, that's their regular rate. Accounting and audit, that's his regular rate. He bills directly to the commission. Travel and training, sometimes we use it, sometimes we don't. Utilities, they ran year to date, their projected actual would be 18,000. So you see, we have that 20 just in the event rates go up. That's our liability and errors and omissions insurance. It's been that standard all these years. Maintenance and repair, we had it for 10 last year and didn't use it, so we reduced that down to the 5. Advertising and other charges and obligations, books and publications, we're not really spending in those areas, so they were reduced a little bit. Legal counsel, projected actual would be 4,000, so you see it there, because we're not meeting a lot, and not having a lot of activity. The same for consulting services, and then our projects right there, and then the holidays, that's the fireworks that we do for the chamber, the holiday on the harbor. And the 340,000, that is funding, that is what we were quoted at, or what Mr. Russell and Mr. Kyle quoted us, that would be the price to complete option 4 of the Avenue B project. And that, do we remember what option 4 is? That is full reconstruction of Avenue B from 5th Street to 3rd, full stormwater drainage system as they described, sidewalks from 5th to 3rd on Avenue B, but that's with pavers at the 340,000, and full reconstruction of 4th Street. And then you have full stormwater drainage as described on 4th Street, and sidewalks from Avenue B along 4th Street to Highway 98 with pavers. And I have their bid package from Paget here, and with pavers, it's $340,619. Is that what we budgeted, or just 340?
340.
And without pavers, is $335,519. So that project, if we're not at this point, we're not putting pavers on the sidewalks, decorative pavers like you see in front of Ganders and around in some other areas. We're not doing that on Avenue B, so I would suggest it to do it on one sidewalk on a side street, so we'd save about $4,500.
Is that an actual paper, or is that a stamp?
It's a stamp,
Okay.
architectural, he's calling it architectural papers, I'm thinking that's the,
They call it that, they give it a buzzword.
So, if it was real pavers, I believe it'd be very expensive.
Well, that's
Mhm. So I would ask you all, we made a motion, Mr. Powers did back, but I can't remember exactly when, a motion to, for this project, phase 2 of the project, which would be coming up in this fiscal year we're working on, to do whichever we could afford, option 3B or option 4. And I just described 3B, option 4. And 3B would be half of, it would not be full, I don't think I'm trying to remember what 3B was.
With option 4
Did it leave out
would be
4th Street?
I beg your pardon?
Did it leave out 4th Street?
Yes, it had very little paving. Okay, here we go, I've got it. It would be reconstruction from 5th to 3rd with curb and gutter and sidewalk, and reconstruction of a portion of 4th. So we wouldn't get all, it wouldn't be paved on 4th, no sidewalk on 4th, but all of the drainage work.
Option 4 would be to complete the project.
Yes, sir, that would be.
And then you have 4 with pavers or without pavers?
Yes. And so I would suggest to shoot to try to complete the project, since we're moving money from the general fund to the CRA to make payments. That's allowed us to have enough funding to complete the project.
$900,000 in general fund for CRA. I would like to support it to complete the project as started.
And now we can't vote here, but we can kind of agree in principle, but now if we agree in principle and we start moving forward, we're gonna have to kind of stick with it because they'll be ordering.
I mean, the point of the workshop, obviously, just as Peter was talking about, is everybody gets their input and everything else, but you certainly are allowed to change your mind before the
Yeah,
meeting. But obviously, that's counterproductive, so.
I know it, if they start ordering materials, then what?
Well,
It's counterproductive.
why would you, I wouldn't alert them to order any materials until the vote's done.
We're not having another, CRA meeting until October's not scheduled. I don't even know, is it one scheduled for
I mean,
October?
Well, we'll approve the budget in
Yeah.
September.
And the director can probably do what she feels is prudent.
But once we approve the budget, and if it has that amount in it, then we'll move
Then we
forward.
can move forward.
But now the CRA board can't necessarily approve it today.
Right,
Right.
And you can't spend this money until October 1st.
Yes.
right.
So you're not gonna order materials until then.
All right, what's going on? No sidebar discussion.
That's the reason why I cut it off. I'm listening to you.
Okay. So we have another, I've got 4 items here. Item number 2 that I have is that Russell and Kyle have sent a, this is just for discussion, just to alert you, they've sent us an alternate. There's gonna be $74,069, $74,070 remaining in the CDBG funding, grant funding of the $650 that we're not spending. And they say we could go back and reconstruct 6th Street, and that would use $53,854 of the CDBG money. Or we could put architectural pavers on Avenue B, and that would, the stamps, and that would use $28,925 of the CDBG money. But we can't do both because there's not enough CDBG left over. But I'm not sure we could do either one because I wrote this morning to Kyle and asked him, is there a CRA match required for either one of these projects? And yes, there is a CRA match. To do the 6th Street reconstruction, the match of the CRA would be $14,463. To do architectural pavers along Avenue B, the match would be $7,231. And I just don't see the money there to provide a match. I can't see it. But we'll move forward while y'all are thinking about that. Here's another item that's special to some commissioners. It's the Marine Street light fixtures.
Which is not working tonight.
No, they're not working.
None of them.
None of them.
No.
It was all dark all weekend.
When I went down there Sunday night,
They were all on Friday night, except for the 3 that aren't working.
We'll check tonight, see.
Sunday night, they were not on.
They was looking on Saturday night.
What time?
9:30.
I even had a call from the guy
It was
that,
plenty dark enough for you.
Oh, yeah.
I even had a message on the machine from the guys that live in the condo there that was thanked us for fixing the lights. So I don't know when they went on.
I don't think they're set by, they're not solar powered. So they may be coming on later because they may have been with time change. Does that make sense? So when time changes, they should, but, so we need to look in to see how those turn on and off.
At 9:30 Sunday night, it was well plenty dark enough to be on. Actually, the days are getting shorter now. It's a little
Oh,
after
yeah,
8,
yeah.
Well, yeah, but we're not getting a lot of sunshine either with all these rains.
Yeah.
All right, so the Marine Street light fixtures. Now, there was recent work done on them. Marine Street light fixtures. We'll move on to another one. They troubleshot some poles and made a chart of what needed to be done, and that was $637 and some change. And then they worked on 15 light poles, 12 were repaired, 3 needed to be replaced or something. They did 15 lamps, 12 ballasts, and that was $3,312. So the $637 and the $3,312 is coming out of this year's budget, so that would be less money that we can carry over. So I just want to give y'all a bit of history here. Right now, we have a quote, there's 3 light fixtures that are out, and we have a quote for $10,227.50. That's $3,342 each. We had 3 light fixtures, the same thing, by the same company, replaced. And they want to do the same thing now for $10,027. In September, exactly a year ago, of 2016, we had 3 light fixtures replaced for $7,565, $2,521.67 each. In 2014, back when we started really discussing these Marine street lights and what to do, we got Alternate Electric to come over and provide a quote to replace all 27 street light fixtures and arms. And they were going to put LED lights. Their quote was $53,500. Or regular lamps would be $43,800. So now that's in 2014. $43,800 to replace 27 light fixtures. And at the price we got charged for 3 light fixtures in 2016, all of these are in September. The price to do 27 light fixtures in 2016, let me just find my numbers, would be $60,520. Okay, excuse me, $68,085. So it went from, the price from 2 years went from $43,800 to $68,085. Now, we want to replace 27 light fixtures at the quote we have now to replace those 3 at $3,342. It would cost $90,242. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? It went up from, in 2014 of September, $43,800.
The more the years go on.
Yes, $68,085 and 16 2 years ago this month, and $90,242 right now we wanted to replace.
So that's by using their figures that they recently gave on 3 lights. That's not them bidding the whole 27.
Right, so that's what I'm trying to have you all think about and to consider. Do we want to continue to piecemeal, or, you know, do we want to see if we can figure out some way to replace all these things, or what? And back then, we thought $43,800 was a lot, and it scared us. And so we just started fixing lamps and ballasts.
I think we need to get another vendor to give us that estimate.
Well, she's just using those figures on 3 lights. Certainly, if we got a bid on 27 lights, it would be a little cheaper.
Yeah, and now 3 have been repaired, so it would be 24 lights.
Or what, yes.
So this is food for thought for, did you want to say something?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I was talking with George Mayer over the weekend, and he's a pretty intelligent guy, knowledgeable about a lot of things, and he was saying that Roger Biden is an electrical engineer or electrical, he knows a lot about that kind of stuff. And we were talking about it, and he said something about, I said, why can't they just retrofit each light out to a new LED instead of going the expensive? These new ones, are they LEDs, or are they just regular halogen, or what are they, are they not efficient? And he was talking about maybe if they were in a series, and a few of these other electrical terms I wasn't quite privy to, but I think it would be worth having someone go in there and take a look at this whole thing and see, is there a way that you could just retrofit the fixture to LED and get rid of the ballast, direct wire, and forget about all that stuff and at the expense? I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but I did all the lights at that Legion, all the fluorescents. I took out all the ballasts and put direct wire fluorescents in, or LED lights, and it saving us all kinds of money. So I can't imagine why those fixtures can't be retrofit. And if nothing else, why can't you just pull Jade put up a LED fixture, I don't know, just seems awful high to me.
Well, in the beginning, Alternate Electric did give a price for LED. Retrofit.
Fixtures or retrofit.
Well, fixtures.
Looks like the poles would still be good.
Yeah, it's up to pole and power going up to them.
And that's what Courtney and I was just discussing, you know, we talked to Duke and they won't touch them because they're concrete posts,
Concrete.
and around and underground and, so Duke doesn't want anything to do with it, but we was talking about maybe getting a couple of the arm lights that they just put out just for backup. Now, they wouldn't be decorative, but they can put them on existing poles until we can figure out what we're gonna do with 24 lights.
Or take out the
Or take them out altogether and just do all streetlights.
Regular street lights. But now,
If
those,
they'll do that.
those are concrete poles in the concrete. How,
Well, you wouldn't necessarily take the poles out, it would still be decorative, they just wouldn't be functioning.
Would you hang flags on?
Something.
I would support us getting a quote on reconditioning with LED and refitting like Greg is mentioning. And it may be out of our financial reach. I don't know that.
Oh, it
It's
definitely
a
is
good
this year.
possibility. But if it is, it is. But I would, Alternative Electric and Cates Electric out of Apalachicola, very civic-minded individual. And it may, and again, it may be out of our reach, but I would think that we could at least do that.
And the first quote that Brenda got for doing them all, that was through Alternative Electric, so you get several quotes and see what the
Right.
prices come back, so, and it was Alternative, and then the last two were something.
and so, and we could go ahead and if we can put off, I know we've got 3 fixtures that are out, and but that's a $10,000 investment. Maybe we should just wait
I would,
and get some quotes, and if we
Right.
have maybe we can do that between now and if we have a meeting in October and discuss it and just see what we can do.
see what we can do.
And maybe we can do a few at a time, maybe they'll give us a quote, we can do some, you know, we'll see what our money looks like, after the first of the year, how much we're actually carrying forward, and, see what we can do.
I would agree with that, but right now, unless something changes, like I said, he looked at it, I didn't know he did, but he looked at it Saturday night, I looked at it Sunday night, just not purposely, but there wasn't any lights down on Sunday night.
I was just saying, I come by late Saturday night and I couldn't tell you if they were on or not, I didn't even think about it.
No comment.
Okay, so that's that on that one. Then, there's this other item that we've all talked about, the off-street parking at Fisherman's Wife. And I did put a call into wrote an email to Russell and Kyle and asked if CRA has money. Can we do that can the CRA go ahead and fund that and have Paget do it while they're out on site where they don't have to charge a mobilization fee? Or do we have to wait until the CDBG project is completely finished before we can start out on a project in the middle of that project of the CDB? And I haven't heard back on that question, but we can keep that in mind. According to what we've had spots like that, parking spots done before in the past, it's gonna run around $12,000 to $13,000. So, if we can keep the engineer out, you know, it'll be somewhere around there, 10, 12. We can just do it on our own. But I would say we should keep that in mind, and when we get into the next fiscal year, just, see if we can afford to do that as well. But, those are the 4 items that I had of concern. So. Anyone else?
Yes, ma'am, we can go back to that $74,000, just to clear me up. Why can't we move that $74,000 into the remainder of that Avenue B project, that we were waiting on the new budget year to come in to cover?
Now, which 74?
The one that you mentioned right up front?
Well, it essentially is. It's coming in as an income and then we're spending it right back out as an expenditure. So you just that's the way you have to budget it, as an income and expense. Are you talking about the 75 from
I'm
the?
talking about the email from Kyle that has the
There's
option.
two.
Oh, okay, now that money has to be split. So,
That, go ahead, go.
But the options that he's giving you two options, instead of doing either one of them options, can that money be rolled over to the next phase?
That's correct, to the next phase of that project.
No,
And
it
I called
cannot.
Russell, but he hasn't got back to me.
No,
Okay.
but it can't, because that is the next this is for commercial revitalization, and it only pays in front of commercial property, and the next phase is all residential.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
That end of Avenue B is not in the CRA?
It's in the CRA, but there's no.
Commercial
no
business.
current
No commercial business.
Operate.
and even if you did spend that 75,000, a portion of it would have to be paid
That's right.
because,
25%.
because it's a percentage match.
That's okay, I was just trying to figure out how to use.
You can't, I mean, we were trying to, we had 65,000 left over from the hexaport that we put in this project, but Tisha and I were just reviewing this, and it looks like we're gonna end up with $75,000 left over again. Because you can't, this CDBG is just so.
And that was what, 9-10 years ago? It's been sitting there until we finally got another CDBG grant that was eligible.
But it will only fund in front of commercial properties.
Well, can we use part of it for that parking lot in front of?
No, they won't fund that. That's, actually, we thought that would be funded completely without any CRA match. And they won't do it because of the propane tank. It's too close.
That's right, I remember that, the issue about the propane tank.
So we had to take that
We
off.
were on our own with that because of the distance from it to the propane. Should be somewhere we can utilize it there, anyway, I guess or something, I think.
And the main thing to think about is the match.
Yes,
Yeah,
you have to have
understand.
25%.
So, I mean, we could most definitely use it, but then we'd have to take money from somewhere else in the budget to fund the match.
And then on the Riverwalk project, and that's why I was concerned which 74, 75 you were talking about. The city, the CRA has spent 150 on that project, and they were matching it to 100%. So once we finish with that project now on the city side, here in the Coast Guard dock, we can submit for reimbursement, and basically 75,000 of that will come back to the CRA, and we're applying that, and here in this grant reimbursement, back into the budget for next year. But it's actually coming out better than I thought it would. So Rob is calculating when he finishes that one.
I was just trying to think of what to do with the $90,650.
I was gonna make a suggestion once y'all are all finished.
Okay.
I was just gonna suggest to put it under street signs and lot cleanup, until we can get it finished with B, and the Riverwalk, because we may end up needing that for a change order. So we can always move it around during the year, but, you don't wanna ever spend 100% and 100%.
And that would help, because we don't know if we're gonna run into another utility problem down on the east side of Avenue B. There's a couple of bad manholes there, so.
Our balance forward may be less than 80,000, it may be more than 80,000. So without knowing that, we always like to have, just in case.
Agree with that philosophy, wholeheartedly, having that cushion.
So, and then if we don't have to spend any extra in Avenue B, maybe we can work something out. We have more money coming forward than we realize. Maybe we can get some streetlights repaired, start on that project. So, is that all right then? Can we put this surplus, for now, so we can balance the budget, put that in, street signs and lot cleanup? Is that all right with you all?
Street signs and what cleanup?
Lot cleanup.
Lot cleanup.
We have cleaned up, we
Yeah.
used that a couple of times. We took some, you know what we did? We took, out some abandoned cars that were abandoned in the right of way, right behind Veterans Park, and that really made it look nice there.
Where's my car?
That's where your cars went? And then, we put, privacy fencing around that dumpster that sits on Highway 98 at Fathers. And everybody was so happy about that. So, we'll move that there, all right, Ms. Ketchum? Is that all right, everyone?
Good.
Okay.
Good with me.
All right. And is the budget satisfactory? Okay. Then I think we're gonna go ahead and try to move forward with option 4. Is that correct for now? Okay. And, we can't really,
You can't vote on it, but it wasn't, I did include it in the budget.
okay.
So it's in the budget.
All right, we can't make any changes to do 6th Street reconstruction or architectural pavers to use the 74 because we don't have the match. Light fixtures we're gonna address in the next fiscal year, and as is the Fisherman's White, right of way. Parking, anything else we don't have. Is that all right then, gentlemen?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, well, then we'll just go ahead and adjourn unless someone else has any other input. Okay, then we're adjourned.
Good job.
Very good.
Thank you.